Mr. Kumado. Mr. Kumado. Hello. Mr. Kumado. Hello. Well, it seems he can't hear me. So we'll try and get him back on the line and deal with the matter of security. We'll get him back. We'll get him back and deal with the matter of security as soon as possible, because this is also another big concern. And talking about what have transpired in Burkina Faso then draws the bigger question of if Burkina Faso is right on top of us. And that's the challenge they have. Okay. Mr. Kumado, can you hear me now? Hello, Mr. Kumado. Oh, can you hear me? Taking us 20 minutes past 9. We're still discussing the issue of the state of the nation's address. This is Audu Isaka Smiler, who says, good morning. Today is my son's birthday. A happy birthday to him. The problem is the name you've written, to be very frank. I think I'll write it for Nancy and see if Nancy can help me. Is it Zuoko 9? He's inside Hokwe Picnic from the father. So Audu Isaka Smiler. In fact, the name, like I said, I'll write it for Nancy and see if Nancy can help me. Because is it Zuoko 9? Mr. Richard Kumadoe has joined us on the line. Thank you very much for your time. Good morning to you.
Morning.
And if you've been listening to us consistently, you will know that we've spoken to him many a times. Whenever security issues come up, we'll call him. He is a fraud and security consultant. Has worked within our security setup. Tomorrow is the day. President will appear before Parliament and will tell us the state of Ghana. From your knowledge of our security setup, what is the state of security in Ghana?
We are not doing bad at all, but just like Oliver Twist, who asked for more. If you remember, before the year end, the police in general had a number of armor cars plus other saloon cars. The military are getting their helicopters and their executive jets. He spoke about building housing for the security agencies. He spoke about a bill in parliament. When it is passed, the military are going to get their university. He spoke about an initiative to establish a university for Signal Bureau. And so these are the things overall that he has done. With his support, almost everybody in the Ghana Police Service has been promoted. I want to believe that now that those ones are done, the BNI will have their share. Then, of course, salary increment for our law enforcement officers. But overall, we don't have a problem at all in terms of security management. Having said that, security management is a continuous process. So today we do not have a problem. By evening, we may have a problem. And that is why all those who matter, together with private consultants, everybody's eye is on the ball, making sure that our national sovereignty guarantees are achieved and security assurances are provided at all times.
Is there concern with our neighbors up north? Because now that we've had this issue with the tomato traders, a lot of attention has gone to exactly what is happening in Burkina Faso, and should we be worried?
Definitely not. If you remember, the Sahel region do not have a problem with us as Ghanaians. They have problem with other nations. Fortunately for us, the man at the helm of affairs, they see him as their big brother. So we do not have problem with him at all. In line with that, we have even appointed an envoy to the Sahel region. And this particular person appointed as envoy, Gbagbo is a serious human being when it comes to defense and security operations. And that is where his strength is. From 64 to security coordinator, handling the whole Africa Union in terms of counterterrorism and security operations. He is not a novice. Having said that, we've always traded with our neighbors for all this while. The issue that happened in Burkina Faso, these are private individuals who went on a private business and they did not inform anybody. Not even a single government official was informed or government agency was informed. They pretend as if they didn't know there was trouble there, and they went there, and the unfortunate incident happened. I think the lessons learned going forward will be applied to everybody. When the issue happened, the foreign ministry came under hot fire. So you realize that even in the case of Mexico, the foreign ministry quickly issued travel alert so that nobody will accuse them again that once the place has been classified as a hot zone, you did not alert your citizens. But it's important to know that during the days of COVID, people were bringing tomatoes to the Pagabada, and our mothers and aunties were going for it. So when we say create a buffer zone for them, or create brokers for them, or create a centralized market for them, it's doable and it's within guidelines.
Well, so having said that, I wanted to ask the IGP strategy of promotions as is it a way of encouraging good behavior?
Motivation.
Yes, promotions, not only as motivation, but basically of encouraging good behavior within the Ghana police service.
Exactly. He said, don't collect bribe again. Now, don't you read almost every day? They say police are ready. They refuse this the amount of bribe. But when he did it, people went after him, and it has worked. And so now, one of the things I'll be saying that, if you remember recently, the Interior Minister was encouraging or admonishing the immigration boss that go and streamline the promotional issues in your institution. I don't know whether you captured that one. If you go to the army today, we are sitting on a time bomb, and one of the things that is leading this bomb is the issue of promotion. Juniors promoted over seniors, and there were no promotions at all. In the case of IGP Christian Tetejokono, he went back even back as 10 years. When you go to immigration, they have difficulties with promotional issues. And we keep on hearing from people who have never worn uniform before, who have never encountered a criminal in the street before, who have never done this job before. They should spare us all those things. The man knows exactly what he's doing. My brother Chaskipo at the BNI knows exactly what he's doing. They should allow them to streamline our security agencies. It's also part of the efficiency and motivation to ensure that good behavior is adhered and discipline is achieved and the job gets done within guided principles. So that is exactly what he has done, and kudos to him.
I see. Fantastic. What would you like us to improve?
One of the things I'm looking for is to get out before I die. I'm not dying now, but in my lifetime, let's have one of the best 21st century crime scene and forensic examination center at the police headquarters. Because these guys have helped this country so much with the limited resources they have. Then I also want to see the university for the police. When you go to the southern part of Africa, the police have their own university. It's important we have university for the police. Tesano Training College is a whole university on its own. They can take the people out and build a beautiful university there. I also want to see cybersecurity and risk assessment center built within the BNI circles. And I'm hoping that President Mahama will hear me this morning. There are aliens who are building so close, hotels and guest houses closer to the BNI offices. They are even taking the BNI lands. You even have as close as, 30 seconds or quarter, close to the BNI offices. And it's creating a problem for this country. And I've always been maintaining, when you destroy the BNI, you cannot sleep as a nation, you can't sleep as a president. So we have to be watchful and be mindful of these things. When you go to foreign affairs, look at all those buildings consuming foreign affairs, and they are posing immense threat to foreign affairs as a National Security Council institution. It is so dangerous. And we need to watch those ones. If we are able to deal with these ones, people call it the hanging fruit or low hanging fruit or upper hanging fruit or something, we'll be fine. But it's a threat on the state institutions, the infrastructure that keeps the state alive, to ensure that political governance match up with security governance. Their institutions and their offices are being threatened because politicians sold all those lands, and you have aliens now living closer to our high sensitive classified institutions. Sana is dangerous.
I see. Because when you started with the BNI, I wanted to tell you about foreign affairs. I wanted to tell you about the military, the Ghana police. Everywhere. Yes. There's encroachment everywhere.
And look at what we've done to ourselves. You are talking about moving them out of the city. Go and see where the CIA head office is. Go and see where the FBI head office is. Go to London and see where the MI5, MI6 is. And you keep on comparing our country to this country. And yet, whatever Nkrumah left for us, we destroy everything. Sold their lands. And I blame the soldiers. You have a gun and civilians come and steal your land and so. and you leave them. You go and break those walls and wall you have 48 regiment, hold a gun in your hand and wall those places. But you leave it for civilians. They've sold everything. Some of the things that breaks my heart. You drive along Burma camp and you see a Burma camp soldier land and somebody has built a filling station on it. Go to University of Ghana. Their land is under threat. You will realize that years to come, they won't have any land again. You go to a university, Cape Coast, and somebody has taken their land and built a fuel station on it. You go to soldier camp, and somebody has taken their land and built a fuel station or built something. This is a sacred environment. You do not come there. You don't. Unless you have something to do there, you don't come there. It's a sacred place. And yet, this is what politics have become. This is what we are doing to this country. You are moving the capital where? And when you go there, even your airport, Terminal 3, beautifully built. One of the difficulties of Terminal 3 is that it has limitation when it comes to space. Create a buffer space, you've sold the land, and people are now building hotels there. So now if you go to Airport City, President Rawlings could design it in such a way that it will become a beautiful center. Even within that small space, you have about 6 different hotels. So what hotel again do you need? What residential accommodation again do you need on the land of the airport? What is the distance between Terminal 3 and Holiday Inn and Ibis Hotel and Marriott Hotel and the one in the building of Marina Mall and the 2 new ones that are springing up there? And the other side of it, you have a Lancaster Hotel and you have President Kufuor Sands Hotel. Then you have a Tomrick Hotel. Within that side, you have a Monte Carlo and all those hotels within that small space. Yet the airport land, black people born by a man and a woman who have traveled the world and attended all the white man schools have sold the land. And on the land of the airport, Terminal 3, the back there, if I tell you, when NDC took power, we did about 3 different ranges of security risk assessment at the airport. These are not things I say casually on air. And one of the difficulties that keep coming up, when you go to the airport one day, don't even with the camera, one day just drive there and see when people are coming out. You will see the threat. You will see the threat that beautiful thing President Mahama built, the threat levels because of limited space. And yet, instead of creating a car park closer to airport here, so that by engineering, architecture, we can bring back the car park from the airport and create a little space for them. They sold it for hotel. You go to the other side before you get to Ashin, the Coca-Cola runabout. They are building China Mall there. They are building churches there. They are building all manner of things there. Who does this? Where is it done? It's not done anywhere. Who does this? So these are the things we have to do as a nation. And let's not lose sight of it because this is the only country we have. And I know we like to react. We shouldn't wait until something happens before we start reacting. And when you react, you don't really solve the problem.
Well, having said that, then perhaps I'll conclude on what I have called land wars. Because nowadays, you have people who are fully armed, who are called land guards, protecting lands, and sometimes it results in lives being lost, among others. Having talked about the land issue, is it a big concern that we need to address immediately before it gets out of hand?
When you go to the police have a counter-terrorism unit. Years back, they have a whole operational unit when it comes to lands. And all land issues were coming there. It was being headed by Atiluk. They clean up the system. They clean up the system. Then, Dampari came, dismantled that unit, scattered the thing, and the land issues begin to raise its ugly head again. I don't know what IGP Christian Tetejehono will do about it, but we have a whole unit established for that. They call it Operations Unit. When you go and check, one of the crazy things or one of the critical things that create problem for it is the issue of land guard. Today, many of the vigilantes, because we passed a vigilante law and the politicians have stopped using them to kill one another, most of them has gone into the forest as security officers for Galamseyers. and the other half are the ones doing the land guard. And they have guns at their disposal, and they have all manner of things at their disposal. So that is the problem we created for ourselves, and nobody is safe. They have even come to a down voter region. They are not afraid of anything. People's land, they bring land guards who don't speak the language, and they create all manner of chaos. So we need to look at it again. It's a major issue. One of the undertone security risk, difficult issues in this country, issue of land guard. We also need to register our lands again and make sure the lands are properly registered. I saw a post where the guy at the Ghana Publishing Company, and so he said they are going to set up offices across the country so that people can gazette their documents all over the place. It helps because the land ministry, or no, not the land ministry, land commission in this country, the people who have headed the land commission, no, they have done more harm than good. They would need, President Mahama need to reset the land commission. That office, land commission office, they have done more harm than good. They would need to reset it. Somebody is buying government land, which could have been sold for $24 million, and somebody is paying $7 million. And they said they have done due diligence and they give it out. No, they need to reset that particular office. It should be one of the offices that need to come to the radar, and they needed to be reset.
Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking
You're
to us.
welcome.
Yes. That's Mr. Kumadoe, Mr. Richard Kumadoe joining us on the line. Taking us 36 minutes past 9 here in the studios of Radio Gold 90.5. I'd like to hear from you what you expect to hear in the State of the Nation's address. It will be delivered in Parliament tomorrow by President John Dramani Mahama. A message on the state of the nation. What do you expect to hear? And what are your concerns when it comes to the state of Ghana? What do you think? What state are we in the first place? In the meantime, let me announce that the Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. The bank is